Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadgurum. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I salute Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the destroyer of the demons, Kamsa and Chanura, the darling of the dear mother, Devaki, and the Guru of the world. I salute him again and again. Om, peace, peace, peace. So we are reading chapter number 22 of book number 4, and we are on verse number 30. Here we are getting the sermon of the 4 ever-free Rishi Kumars. They are called the Rishis. They are all ever young because they live in God consciousness all the time. So, and they are for the good of the world. So this Sanat Kumara, his name, and out of the 4 sages, Sanat Kumara, and he is talking about the king, Prithu, talking to the king Prithu. And this conversation went on to this point that one should, deep philosophical reflection, one should be engaged and know that this whole universe is made of the 3 gunas, and that love for God is attained through firm faith. We have read this, verse number 22, around that page, on this chapter, 22nd chapter, verse 22, etc. There says that love for God is attained through firm faith and then performance of the Bhagavata Dharma, then the philosophical discrimination, reflection, and etc. So, and anyone who wants to cultivate devotion in them should throw away the company of people of men interested only in the worldly pleasures. And so avoid the objects and places, not only the person, the objects and the places which are pleasing to such people. That means you want to develop devotion. So you should go to temple, you should go to holy people. Those people who are day and night engaged in world and worldliness, if you go and associate with them, you will get their samskara. Their impact will affect your life. So you cannot grow devotion being in association with that. So when there is no convenience to listen, suppose you have no opportunity to listen to the recitals of Lord God, then one should engage in reflecting on philosophical theories and go to a silent place, meditate on God, and then practice non-injury, all the noble characteristics of life. So when a person then go take a instruction from a teacher, and when a person under the instruction of the genuine teacher develops a firm and constant delight, and develop a firm and constant delight in and attachment to the Supreme Being. So when we learn from our teachers how to love God and feel attraction for that more, then one should endow with the power of renunciation, the power detached from the external and for love for spiritual enlightenment. This power, when this renunciation power grows in one, that burns away, that is like a fire, that is fuel. So what happens? It breaks away your small ego-centric life, self-centered individuality, which is composed of what? Arrogance, ignorance, ego, attachment, aversion, and clingingness to life. So these 5 qualities we are having. We have these 5 qualities. It is called avidya, asmita, raga, desha, abhinivesha. These are the 5 obstacles. Patanjali has said, these 5 are the obstacles. How you can overcome? What are those? Avidya. Avidya means ignorance. Asmita, I. The whole world is a fight of I. I am higher than you, I am better than you, I am richer than you, I am educated than you, I am spiritual than you. Even in spiritual life, I am more spiritual than you, my religion is higher than your religion. So I, me, mine, this is the world. So that, and the raga means clingingness to attachment to the objects of the senses, and then aversion, I don't like, hatred, these are the attitude. These, and also holding on to life. I don't want to die. Even today we are talking about that. There's some, some say, don't resuscitate me. When don't call 911 and ask written document, I don't want to be back with pumping and this and that, or life support. No. Somebody said, no, you are a young man, young person. You should not say like that. You may come back and have a good life. Hurry, in that condition, still you are thinking to come back. That means clingingness to the life. We forget how many times we are born, how many times we are again born, no? But we have to hold on. This body is precious body. But this body is, as you are discussing in the dining table, that this body is, you do not know which part functions what way. And that is just it can break at any point. Any of the parts of the engine can break any time and dislodge everything. That's why clingingness. But these are the obstacles to the path of devotion and God realization. So when you have such, so practice spiritual discipline by instruction of the teacher, and with this devotion when one practices, that generates one power. That's why spiritual practice generates power. When you see that so many people come in this country or anywhere and become extraordinarily attracting people, you have to understand, they have generated that power of tapasya, austerity. Spiritual practice you do, it can liberate you. If you don't use it for liberation, it can make you powerful. See how many people will be thronging around you and then bringing money, bringing wealth and say hi, ha. But then after a few days you die, boom. Who remembers whom? Talk about the biggest people, all powerful people in the world. So it says that these obstacles will be thinned away. These obstacles, avidya, asmita, raga, desha, abhiniveshaha, kleshaha. Patanjali's yoga says these are klesha. They are pain-bearing obstacles. Because it brings obstacle to God realization, obstacle to samadhi. So you go to Guru, take this instruction and follow and do your practice to burn out all these 5 obstacles. The aspirant whose mind has been thus burnt up and is thereby freed from the limitation imposed on it, sees no longer an inside and outside for the self. So he sees inside is God, outside is God. When you can burn all these 5 obstacles, then obstacle free means you see truth. So you see inside God, you see outside God. See how Sanat Kumar's lessons is a wonderful teaching. It is the mind that acts as a barrier of the self, capital self, causing the distinction of the subject and object. Who makes a distinction? I, inside, outside, it's all mind is creating. So, that the state of one in whom this divisive factor has been obliterated is like that one person who is awakened from the dream. As we awaken from the dream, and all the dream experiences, violent dream, fearful dream, or cheerful dream, vanishes in a moment. So it is like a dream. It is only when there is this medium of the mind that one feels through that medium the distinction between the object and the subject, the instrument and the like. It is only when there is a reflecting surface between, like the water and mirror, that the seer sees the distinction between himself and the reflected image. You can see yourself when? When you have a mirror, you stand before the mirror, there is a reflection. Or in a water, clean water, you go and you see your face, you can see. That means you are seeing two when you are reflected in a medium of mirror or medium of the water. Now, here, what is the media? Why I see myself and you and all these things? Here, mind is the mirror. So whole philosophy of Raja Yoga talks. Mind is the mirror. And mind, clean the mind. Clean. Every day we chant in the morning. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly. The mouth, what is that? So that the chant the name of the Lord unceasingly, so that the mirror of the heart, mind may be wiped clean. Wipe clean. And quench that mighty forest fire. So this worldly fire will be gone there. So when the reflector is gone, that is the mind is gone. Suppose the mirror is here, I can see my reflection there, I can see two. When the mirror, you take out mirror, where is the reflection? So reflection is only possible when there is a mirror. So mind is there, that's why I am seeing you. The mind is taken out. Mind is taken out in deep sleep. When you sleep, where do you go? When you deep sleep, you don't see any your action, your hand, your feet, your activity, no. Because mind is sleeping, so you are free from duality. So when you go to samadhi, when you go to deep meditation, there is no two. And that's why ultimate meditation leads us to non-dual experience. When the reflector is gone, the reflection too disappears, and only the seer remains. Now to the 30th verse. So I am just connected every day because no one remembers anything, and so link that, it takes 15-20 minutes. Then we run for the next reading. Today, now, we are reading 30th verse. What it says? 31 verse. The mind of a man who is captivated by external objects loses its discriminative faculty, even as the water in a lake is dried up by the reeds on its margin. No? The mind of a person who is captivated by external objects, when drawn, attached to the external object, we lose our discriminative faculty. When you can discriminate, I am the pure soul, I am a child of God, when? When your mind is settled, when you are engaged in very much with the external things of the world, there is no time for you to think in this line. That's why he says that the mind of a person who is captivated by external objects loses its discriminative faculty, even as the water in a lake is dried up by the reeds or on its margin. No? So the water is dried, so there will be no mud can come out. So if thought is weakened or distorted, the sense of the continuity of the event is lost. Thought is weakened or distorted. See, we sometimes say, oh, what are you going to say? Huh? You have some thought in your mind and you say, oh, I forgot. What I was talking about? No. That means when thought is distorted, disconnection happens. And we cannot link with the past. So he says, if the thought is weakened, it becomes weak or distorted, the sense of the continuity of event is lost. What is the continuity? What are you saying? What are you thinking? What am I going to say? I miss that link. Someone can connect me with again. So the point is that be careful, deal with the mind, make the mind pure so that you can free yourself, detach yourself to the external world. Actually, whole spiritual science is to detach from the mind. If the mind is withdrawn, bas, everything is gone. We cannot do that during our, say, operation and other things when you go to a hospital. What doctors do? They do simple things. They don't do anything else to detach ourselves. How? From the body. It's a big Vedanta philosophy. When they detach, we learn, we don't know, I cannot detach, but my aches and pains will be there, then doing a big surgery, no? 3 hours surgery going on the body, no? But you don't know anything during that period at least. Why? Your mind has been put to sleep. Mind is not there. Because mind is not there, so much is going on in your physical body, you are not feeling anything. Does it not prove that it's what mind's power? And when you come back little bit in the he is coming back to senses. No? When you come back, then pain starts. Then they give you a painkiller, no? And to reduce that pain, morphine or something like that. So again the same thing. So it is the point that our perception in the world is on the mind. So Sanat Kumara says, if thought is weakened or distorted, the sense of the continuity of events is lost. If that is lost, continuity of the thought is lost, intelligence is forfeited. That means you have no brain working. We say, he is... Nowadays we call dementia. What is dementia? Forgetfulness. What is forgetfulness? You forget the link of the old and the now. We forget what I was talking, as I said. I went that side. What did I come for? No? In old age it happens to many people. He was just you were doing something and went somewhere. And why did he come? I could not remember. No? That means your mind is not functioning there. It's lost continuity. Lost continuity, your thought discontinued. Then you say, she does not know where she is, or he does not know in his condition where he's walking. And see, that is the mind, continuity of the mind. Mind is lost. The intelligence, we call it an intelligent person. No, you just say like that. He understands. He's a very intelligent guy. No, intelligent means, see, that power to hold the minor movement of the mind, understanding, continuity of the understanding. More you can see that, more intelligent you are. Swami Vivekananda could go in one place and in a split second understand everything what is going on there. And for us, we live there 1 year, you do not know. If there is in a bathroom, where is the bathroom? Somebody says, bathroom, you are searching, how long you are here? So many years. I do not know where is the bathroom. Being here in the shrine, and there is an attached arrangement for that. We come and see, but don't see. That's the mind is not alert. But mind alertness, I am talking about the Atmastananda Swami came once. He became the president. Swami, that time he was the general secretary. So when he came, and he just asked, and going around for a walk with me, I was taking him to show the place. He said, hey, how many steps are here? I said, tell me, how many steps are here? From here in front of temple, go to the cul-de-sac. How many steps are there?
I don't use it regularly.
Don't argue. Question is that the question you say answer, yes or no. Yeah, that means you have no interest. But he has the interest. I am here, so let me know. It is Lord's place. I will say so many steps up. Meaningless for us. But Sattvika mind, will be watchful of everything. Those who can connect their mind, very strong mind, they can see everything. Simple thing. He said, oh, what is this tree in the courtyard? That tree in front of Atma Vidyananda's room. In front of that, he said, what is the name of the tree? I never. Tell me, can anyone tell the name of the tree? Suppose Gyana's office, just entering into the kitchen. What is the name of the tree? How many such trees are here in the garden? Sankarananda Maharaj one day asked one brahmachari. He was a brahmachari then. And Swamiji used to love him, but he is a very strong person. Sankarananda Maharaj, my guru. So, he met him, Maharaj. Yes, I met him. Yes. So, he is asking, he went to Narendrapur. Lokeshwarananda Maharaj is there, and Maharaj invited Swami, please come and stay here for a few days and take rest. Anyhow, he went, and as he entered, he said, because they are trained with Raja Maharaj. In the Belur Math campus, how many? He first asked, Brahmachari said, hey, you are here how many years? Maybe 2-3 years. Okay. How many coconut trees are there in the campus? It is 1 mile, 2 mile long property. How many coconut trees are there? He, foolishly or anyhow very smartly, just said 978. Just prepared a number. And Maharaj didn't say anything. Then, oh, acha, okay. And then he got frightened that I lied in front of Maharaj. Then he went to the Swami who looks after the entire garden and other things. He went and fell down at his feet. Maharaj, if Maharaj goes and asks you how many coconut trees are there, he will say that is 978 or whatever I have said. Maharaj didn't ask anymore, but he is asking about the alertness of the person. You live here, you should know, because it is Lord's place. So, Belur Math was like that. Even they used to say, how that cow is doing, Ganga is doing. You say, Ganga, a cow shed is there. One Swami to look after the cows, but others need not be careful. But you stay in Thakur's place and you don't know that you get the good milk from that cow and don't know the name. And is she fed well? I heard that is not keeping well. So, the alertness. That is what I am wanting to say. When the mind is alert, we call intelligent person. When mind is little dull, he does not. So you are going and you met somebody, just he crossed your eyes. But I didn't see. Oh, I don't know. I didn't see him. But intelligent person, with a little look, he will see everything. He may not say, he may not express his feelings, but everything comes in his mind. Intelligence. He watches everything. So, the intelligence will be forfeited if thought is weakened or distorted. The sense of the continuity of the events will be lost. If that is lost, continuity of the events is lost, you forget what I did this morning. And the people dementia, they cry at the night. They have been properly fed. There was one Swami, I was in one place, that one Swami had got dementia. So night time, I was first night spending close to his room. She started crying at the night time. No one is feeding me, they are killing me, and what is the torture they are doing? And then really we were worried, and then we do not know. Then said, but now Maharaj, he has taken everything, but he forgets that he has eaten. Continuity of the thought is broken. And when it is broken, then your intelligence is forfeited. If intelligence is lost, a man is as good as having attained to self-destruction. He does not know who is he, or what is he, what purpose is there. So 32 verse. There is no greater loss than such as self-destruction, for it is for the sake of this self that everything else is valued. No? If this self-destruction, if I go away, then what is the meaning of my staying here? It is like a piece of wood, piece of clod, like that. Is a matter? Actually, those who live in the world, they don't enjoy the world at all because mind is disturbed, mind is lost. By a continued preoccupation with wealth and sex, man misses the real human fulfillment. For an unending preoccupation with these things deprive him of spiritual knowledge and experience, and he is gradually reduced to the state of trees and vegetations. That means they would degrade themselves down to their life, inanimate life. Animated life is this one. They go back to the inanimate life. That means continued preoccupation. You look at that, those people who are day and night engaged in thus only worldly things too much, they have no time to explore what is inside, where is God, what is freedom. This thought cannot come to them. And what happens? At the end we see people, everything goes away, then they start crying and weeping. On the contrary, a spiritual person, they welcome. Swami, we are talking about that a clingingness to life versus Swami Vivekananda says. One who dares to love misery. Mrityure je badhe bahu pase, who can hug death, and there appears Divine Mother Kali, dances in the cremation ground of the heart. It's a very strong word, but the power is that the mind is alert and mind is detached mind. What in the cremation ground means what? Even a person who is totally full of worldly thoughts, if goes to cremation ground, another thought comes. Oh, what is life? If this is the end of life, that will be the end of everyone. So that awakens detachment from the world. So he says, for an unending preoccupation with these things deprives him of spiritual knowledge and experience, and is gradually reduced to the state of vegetation, life of vegetation. One who aspires to overcome the thick darkness of ignorance should never seek contacts that are contrary to the fourfold end of life, dharma, artha, kama and moksha. That means one who aspires to overcome the thick darkness of ignorance. We are in ignorance and we want to get out of this ignorance, then we should never seek contact that are contrary to our fourfold goals. Dharmic life, what is called the person of character, and good nature, dharma, following the disciplines and dharma, collecting money, wealth, artha in right and proper way, kama, fulfillment of desires in a proper way, and moksha, liberation. They become contrast, they are contrary. They cannot reach these four goals of life. What the question? Fifth goal. The four goals of life is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Righteous living, dharma, artha, earning good money in life in proper way, kama, fulfillment of desires in legitimate way, and then moksha, liberation. These four goals, all is lost. What the question of the next higher goal? Love for God. Of these four ends, moksha alone is accepted as the really stable value to be sought. But first people go to the first three. And righteous living, righteous earning money, righteous enjoying life. Then they reach to a point, I have done that, I am not satisfied. Then he goes to moksha. Then the three other subject to the destructive force of time. So, of these four ends of life, moksha, the liberation alone, is accepted as the real stable value to be sought. Others, for the other three, dharma, artha and kama, they are subject to destructive forces of time. You may be wealthy, but in time suddenly you can lose those wealth. You have maybe other very dharmic life. A dharmic life, it does not give you liberation. You have to love God. So these are not stable. Only stable is the liberation, moksha. Whatever is born as the effect of the transformation of the three gunas are like castles in the air, struck down in time by the will of the Lord. So anything made of the three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas, must have to die, because three gunas itself are temporary. The gunas manifest in diverse ways. So they are like the castles in the air. So if the three gunas, it is made of three gunas, then it will have to die. You make anything impermanent with impermanent object, it will one day get destroyed. They do not lead to the ultimate goal. O King Pritha, in the hearts of all beings, who, as it were, form a cluster of bodies, mind, sense, prana, buddhi, ahankara, the Lord shines as the master, a real presence, the indweller. So, what he says, that now, O King, in the hearts of all beings, in the heart of all personalities, who are, as it were, form of cluster of bodies, and what is there in this body? Body is there, mind is there, senses are there, pranic force is there, buddhi is there, ahankara, ego is there, and the Lord is shining through every portion of your body, through your eyes, through your presence, the Lord shining, who is the indweller. Know yourself to be a part and parcel of Him. You know that you are part and parcel of the indweller spirit, which is Satchidananda. He in whom Maya, in the form of the universe of cause and effects, shines, even as a snake seems to appear in a wraith in the state of ignorance, and is sublated in the wake of knowledge in him, who is ever free, ever pure, ever awake, and who transcends this work-burdened realm of matter. I seek refuge. So then it is the question that we should say that I take refuge to him in whom the Maya is there. Maya in the form of the universe and its cause and effect. So, who is that ever-free Atman, pure, he is residing in it. I seek refuge in that Satchidananda. Ascetics endowed with renunciation and control of the senses are not able to cut the knot of self-centeredness, fortified by tendencies acquired in the past, with the same ease as these devotees who love the Lord are devoted to His service. So, be a devotee. By devotion to God, you can cut these bonds of ignorance, maya. Therefore, practice devotion for Vasudeva. So the conclusion is that love God and practice the path of bhakti. Because it is a bhakti book, it is emphasizing, you will reach the same goal, your attachment for the world will go away, and you take refuge in God. Without the capital as the boat, it is very difficult for one to cross the ocean of samsara. For those who attempt to do so, the crocodiles of 6 passions make it well nigh impossible. Therefore, taking the Lord's Srihari's worshipful feet as your boat, cross the ocean of samsara, which is so full of suffering and so difficult to cross. So that was the last address of Sanat Kumara. Sanat Kumara said, practice bhakti, your mind will be pure, and mind purified, you will feel the presence of the Lord, and then the Satchidananda will shine forth in your heart, and you will cross the ocean of birth and death. So, 40th verse says so. Now, the narrator is saying, Maitreya said, being thus instructed by Sanat Kumara, who is the son of Brahma, and the knower of Brahman also, having realized through that instruction, then this king is praising Sanat Kumara for this advice. And he is praising his guru, Sanat Kumara, that I got so much from you, thank you. It's thanksgiving. Thanksgiving from 42 verse. 42 verse, the king said, Pritha, the king Prithu, he said, the merciful Lord Hari had given me his blessings long ago, O great sage. It is to complete that divine mercy that you have come to me. Your merciful selves have now actually brought fulfillment to that blessings. My body and my kingdom are only the remnants of what holy men have returned to me as blessings, after I had given all my belongings to them. So what can I offer to you, O Sanat Kumara? O great one, I have already made an offering of all that I have, my life, my spouse, child, estate, utensils, kingdom, army, farms, treasury, etc. The command of the army, the government, the administration of justice, and the lordship of all the whole country, all these really belong to the holy ones who know the Vedas and the Shastras. See the greatness of India. The king is praising a holy person that this land, property, building, all the army, all the treasury, it belongs to you. I am your servant only. That's why always you see Hindu society has Kshatriya, over it there is a Brahmin sitting over there, man of wisdom. So the country would have run in the righteous way. Otherwise, if the advisor is wrong, then directs the king in wrong direction. Naturally, the suffering comes for the subjects. What the holy man eats is his own food. What he wears is his own cloth. What he gives is his own wealth. Very beautiful. That the holy people, real holy people, what they do, what he wears is his own cloth. Whatever he has, he wears that cloth. And he eats his own food, whatever he gets. But what he gives the wealth of spirituality. He is the owner of everything. But the food that the Kshatriyas and others eat is only what the holy man gives them as a gift. So you, knowers of the Veda, who in the course of your spiritual discourse have so effectively expounded the supremacy of Bhagavan Krishna, will have to be satisfied with the thought that you have done this good deed prompted by your mercy. For I have nothing with which to compensate you for your spiritual service beyond offering my salutation. I have nothing more I can give, everything belongs to you. I offer my salutation only for giving this beautiful advice, O Sanatana, Sanatana. To do anything more would be ridiculous, since my debt to you is beyond measure. So that's a gratitude. Sanat Kumara gave that advice, and so now Maitreya said, then the Kumaras, the great messengers of the spiritual gospel, after being duly worshipped by Prithu, departed, praising the great qualities of Prithu. As they rose in the sky, all those present looked on. So Maitreya said, now the four Rishi Kumaras, Shuka, Sanatana, Sanandana, Sanat Kumara, these four, they all came, advised this, and then they left. Now the king Prithu, his greatness. What is the greatness? Verse number 49, page 405. Prithu, the greatest among the great, considered himself to have achieved life's ultimate purpose, since he had been established in the Atman consciousness, through the concentration he developed with the aid of spiritual instruction he received from the sages. So he received this instruction, you be a devotee, control your mind, focus on God, detach from the outside attractions. So following all these principles, then the King Prithu, who is the achieved life's ultimate purpose. How? As is getting established in the consciousness of the self, through the concentration, practicing one-pointed focus, he developed with the aid of spiritual instruction he received from the sages. He made an offering of all his works to the divine, performing them according to propriety as dictated by time, place and capacity, suitability and financial solvency. Offering the fruits of all actions to the Lord, Prithu, being unattached, with the mind ingathered, considering himself as the spirit transcending matter, assuming the attitude of mere onlooker in all his actions, Prithu lived in his palace amidst the abundance that royalty brings in his train. But as there is no ego-centeredness in him, he remained unaffected by sense objects, even as the sun who shines over everything. So, Prithu, by practicing spiritual discipline, he is established in the consciousness of the self, and being egoless, he ruled the country, though in the midst of the wealth and prosperity, but it remained unaffected. Now, in the course of his active life, which was based on total dedication to the Lord, he begot 5 children, worthy of himself by his wife Archis. So Prithu's wife was Archis. These 5 sons, their name is Vijitasva, Dhuma Rakesha, Hridyaksha, Dravina and Brika. The Prithu manifested in himself the qualities of the Lokopalas. Like Soma, the duty of the moon, Prithu, the divine king, under the guise of an earthly ruler, worked for the perfection of the world, with his mind ever devoted to the Lord, and delighted his subjects with his thoughts, words, deeds, and with gentleness of his personality. As the sun takes and gives out water, he collected wealth as tax, but gave it back to his subjects in proper time. And through his prowess, he held all the subordinate kings in their proper place. So he became a wonderful king, Prithu, kept other kings under his control. What money he gets from taxing the people, utilizes to the penny for the good of the subjects. The ideal king, he lived like that. He, 57, page 406, he was formidable like fire, invincible like Indra, patient and equanimous like the earth, and generous like the sky. Like the clouds, he reigned on the world, all that is desirable, like the ocean, the depth of his grave personality was immeasurable. Like the Mount Sumeru, he was the center of power in his kingdom. In administering justice, he was like Dharmaraja. In generating awe and wonder, he was like unto Himavat. In wealth, he was like Kubera. In inexhaustibility of his treasury, he was like Varuna. In strength of body, mind and senses, he was like the wide-ranging air. In the invincibility of his prowess, he was like Rudra. In beauty, he was like Kamadeva, the Cupid. In the courage, he was like a lion. In tenderness of feeling, he was like Manu. And in the lording over all, he was like a Brahma. In Vedic scholarship, he was like Brihaspati. In the control of the senses, he was like Hari. In devotion to holy men and devotees, in his humility and polite behavior towards all, in his abhorrence of unbecoming acts, and in his zeal in work for the welfare of others, he was comparable only to himself. That means his wonderful characteristics, wonderful power, all-round power manifested in him. Just as the reputation of the Rama became familiar to all good men, the greatness of this Prithu reached the ears of everyone. And through the pianos of praise sung about him by people in all parts of the country. So everyone appreciated and praised the King Prithu because of his, one side he is a realized person and another side he is a wonderful king. Okay, so now we end the chapter 22, so 23rd chapter. Now Prithu ruled the country with this power and energy, with wealth and prosperity, with ideal king. Now the salvation of Prithu, this chapter 23rd, 4.23.1. Now the narrator again started saying that King Prithu had now completed his work, the mission for which he had been incarnated. So, ask a question, okay. The towns and villages he had built had now become prosperous. Prithu, as a king, had provided means of livelihood for all living beings. He had, for education of his subjects, set an example of righteous living. By his own life, he therefore entrusted the earth, his beloved daughter, now weeping, as it were, at the impending separation to his sons, and prepared himself to go away to the forest hermitage, accompanied only by his wife, to the great sorrow and disappointment of the subjects. The third stage, he's ruled the country to its full extent, and now he is entering into the third stage, what is called Vanaprastha, going to the forest life. The king gives up all his wealth and prosperity, and he and his wife now move towards a forest living. And people are all weeping and crying because of losing this King Prithu. With the same zeal that he had shown in subordinating the world in the past, he now entered the field of asceticism, prescribed for the Vanaprasthas. Third stage of life, they go into the forest life. Forest life, he was a king, and now going to a forest, you have to live like an ascetic. Thatched house, roof maybe straw, built house, and lying down in the floor, no gorgeous kingly bed, no physical comfort. So with the same zeal, but Prithu, the king, in the same zeal, he ruled the country. Now he went into this stage of life, Vanaprastha life, and practiced in accordance to its stringent rules without any break or compromise. He and his wife then, Archis. In adoration of Sri Krishna, he underwent austerities of the most rigorous type, sometimes eating only roots and fruits, sometimes only dry leaves, something only water, sometimes only air. In summer he remained amongst 5 fires, Panchatapa, 5 powers. In the summer he remained amidst the 5 fires. In the rainy season he exposed himself to the rain. In the winter he remained in the neck-deep water. He slept on the bare floor and patiently suffered every unpleasant or painful experience without any murmur. He observed silence, practiced self-control, observed brahmacharya and controlled the pranas. These austere practices gradually rid his mind of all impurities acquired from the past. By pranayama, the senses came completely under his control. He was free from all bondage. What spiritual instruction holy Sanat Kumara had imparted to this King Prithu, according to that he worshipped and meditated on Supreme Being. Soon, unwavering and spontaneous devotion to Sri Hari, Narayana, was generated in the heart of that great one who followed unceasingly disciplines of divine adoration and worship with the great faith and sincerity. In his mind of Prithu, that is purified by divine service and perfect by the intense love for divine, growing in it, renunciation and knowledge naturally dawned automatically. With the sharp edge of knowledge, he cut asunder all self-centeredness, I consciousness with which man is innately identified. As we are identified with that ego, he cut that ego because of doing so much penance, austerities and meditation. Having realized the Atman, having abandoned the sense of identification with the body, and having cut asunder the knot of I sense with the sword of knowledge, he abandoned even those spiritual disciplines. Then he went above. No spiritual discipline. Then, for a yogi is liable to suffer a fall from the path only so long as he has not developed unfailing delight and attraction for the Lord's excellences. That is, there was a spontaneous love of God in Prithu, and non-external discipline was needed no longer for him. So he did so much austerity and reached his end and could be established in the truth. So this is the end on verse number 12. 4.23.12. We end here today. And now, you have questions? Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. We will be meeting again in the evening, 7:30, for our Shanti Gita. Oh Nishan, should I meditate in the cremation ground or here in America in the graveyard? Yeah. Yes, now you are not to go anywhere, but we can make the mind detached. That is the main. Even if you can go to any cremation ground, yes, it creates a general sense of impermanence of everything. See, everyone is dead, 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 dead. I will also die. I will also die. No? So we need not have to go to a cremation ground, but earlier days people used to go to cremation ground to do all these austerities, because naturally your mind feels detached. Oh, life, this man is dead, that man is dead, that man is dead, and this is the result. People only keeping one nameplate. Somewhere nameplate is also not there. So the people feel like that, whether it is...
Oh, that time it says Smashan Vairaga.
Smashan Vairaga.
Yeah, so this guy never donated anything, and he attended someone crematorium and he donated 5.
Right.
And say, oh, everything.
For a moment it comes.
Yeah.
But what he's saying, if I meditate there every day, go and see everything is dying, everything is... my interest for the world will be lessened and lessened. And then interest for God will grow. That is the main thing. That is Mashana Vairagya, as you are saying. Thakur also said, that is momentarily that renunciation comes and goes away.
There is also possibility like that, just to be there in the graveyard or cremation ground. If you don't do discrimination, people are walking there. Every day they are seeing it.
They are seeing,
But
they
they
are
get immune.
immune. They even those who are serving and putting the dead body into the fire every day, that is nothing for them.
They think it's my duty.
That's duty and earning money for my survival. So it is not that it is the mindset. When we get a momentary renunciation, spirit of renunciation comes, momentary. If you can hold on to that and feel the mortality of the bodies. Anyone is born, it will turn into, Holy Mother said, whatever you may be, but it is ultimately all ends in 1.5 pound of ashes. Whatever you do, big, small, one day, that is the conclusion. So if you think, then every day, sadhus should think like that, then it's momentary, it is temporary. So what are you doing okay. But every day, that's why I say, think of, those who are highly spiritual people, they say, think of death every day. Any moment, you are gone. So what asset will you carry with you? How much closeness you become with God, or how much close you become in the world. Even if you are attached to the world, everything will have to live here. You cannot take anything from here. Whatever you collect, whatever you see, whatever you accumulate, nothing you can take. Your name, fame, or your good name, bad name, criticism, everything, it all remains. You go alone. So that is the renunciation, that type of thought is possible for those souls. They can take advantage. Not going there only will do, but it is the detachment attitude. Okay, so we'll see you again. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
One question.
Bolo.
So you say about anger. Even Sanat Kumar, they are beyond the Jivan Mukta. They also gave cause to Jai Vijay. Anger is not easy to control.
No, they control. They say that if they realize soul, what they do, that is, they are only for the good of others. Their karma, bad karma, samskara, to wipe out quickly. They show that anger, and anger affects them. But that which would have been the karma which they have to go for 20, 30, 40 lives is shortened in this one life. So these are some explanations.